All right, it has been a crazy couple of weeks. I don't post often, but when I do, I want it to be very well presented and making sure that everything I say is accurate, illustrative, and truthful. I feel the need to go off script and just talk directly to you about recent events. You all know this is my church, and this lately is what people have been saying about it. Why? Let's start a few weeks ago with the unaliving of Charlie Kirk. I guess I can't say certain words on these apps. Let me first say this. Charlie Kirk was a good man. He was a man of God. It is my opinion, but it is also a fact. That is who he was. He was someone who sought truth, no matter how hard to find it. It's also true that the person who committed this terrible crime against him and against all of us was a former member of my church. I say that because it's been used recently to try to exploit a negative narrative about my faith that simply doesn't stand up to scrutiny. I saw some incredible reactions that gave me hope. I saw people expressing a desire to go back to church. And if you don't understand Latter-day Saints, we encourage everyone of every faith, everywhere in the world, to return to their faith, to get a closer relationship with God. That is our stance. And so to see many people that hadn't been to church, any church, in years, say that they were going to go back, they were going to start praying again, they were going to open up their Bible, that brought so much hope to people of my faith. My personal belief and feeling that I got was that that event is something that God used, and that Charlie Kirk is someone that God used to create an awakening to turn to him in preparation for the coming of Jesus Christ. I believe Charlie Kirk is an exemplary person and was perhaps one of the only people that could cause that awakening to occur. So I'm greatly inspired by the reaction of those people. Then there's another group that felt that same way, but also felt kind of a need to put out a disclaimer. And that disclaimer is this: I didn't necessarily agree with everything Charlie Kirk said, but no one deserves to lose their life over practicing their right to free speech and expressing their opinions. I would bet if they knew everything that he said and did a deep dive into the context of what he said, they would come back and say, I take it back. Most of the things that he said, I agree with. He was a good man. And then you have a third group of people. These are people that believe false witness. They believe lies. They believed the manipulations, and they still do. They are what I call past feeling. What I mean by that is I believe that everyone's born with the light of Christ, and everyone has something within them that can help them understand right from wrong. So many of the people that have expressed a celebration in the aftermath of this event are past feeling, and that light is diminished. If it's even there, it's just a flicker, it feels like. That takes me back to this person who committed this terrible, atrocious act. This person is someone who had a light, and for many, many years has gone away from that light and turned away from the teachings of Christ to the dark corners of this earth, and has served a different master, one that believes in lies and the father of lies. And that person believed so many terrible things that were falsehoods and false witnesses that he felt justified in his actions, knowing that that person had apostatized from my faith and teachings that would have prevented him from even thinking to do such a heinous thing. I was saddened to see that some people took that as an opportunity to smear my faith. For someone claiming to be a pastor, someone claiming authority as a pastor, immediately jumped to the person who did this to Charlie Kirk was a Mormon. And Mormonism is a demonic cult. They worship a false god and the wrong Jesus. This is what this person said. This goes right back into bearing false witness, spreading lies, manipulation. I think there's many that are confused or misguided and just believe it from what they've been taught. But in this particular instance, I believe it is for this person's personal gain and to get attention for himself. But he further continued to say Mormonism is a cult, and there's a demonic spirit in the household of all those who grew up in a Mormon household. I grew up in a Mormon household. I know what is taught, and the reason I'm still a member of this church is because the beliefs are the most Christian of any other faith that I've encountered. So hearing this from this person, it's offensive. And as I stated when I created this channel, it is my hope that I can reach out to my friends, people that know me, that I have lived a life that you can know the kind of person that I am, and that you know without a doubt that I am a disciple of Jesus Christ, and clear up confusion that is spread, speak truth to lies, and help them understand what my faith really is and what it's all about, to illustrate further the example of bearing false witness and the tragic outcomes that it can have. Someone took it to the extreme, and last Sunday, in one of our congregations in Michigan, someone drove their car into the building, set it on fire, and opened fire on families in the middle of a worship service because he believed that our church was demonic and it was the Antichrist. Similarly to the previous event I talked about, we've seen people reaching out from all kinds of faith communities, realizing that Christianity is in fact under attack. That was the headline for a lot of people right away, was Christianity is under attack. No sooner that was the headline did people trot out their beliefs. Wait, hey, let's be clear. Mormons aren't Christians. So again, the very lies and false witness that lead to people acting outrageously and violently in true fashion, the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints has come together in support and love and kindness and faith. Many of you who know us will not be surprised that with so many families affected by this, there was one family that could be left behind by it, and that's the family of the person who committed such a terrible act. A family that now doesn't have a husband or a father, who could easily be cast aside, could easily be dismissed, hated, and left alone. And in true display of Christian discipleship, members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints have not only raised over $250,000, they have opened their arms in a Christian embrace to the family of the perpetrator of this act. I was listening to the guy who started the fundraiser, who's a good man, a fun man, and a good man, and he was struck by the fact that the children of the person who did this were now going to have a heck of a time shaking the fact that their father did something so horrific, and that the wife of this person was going to have to deal with the backlash from people who might not be so kind. And that prompted him to set up a fundraiser page for them also. That thought process is one of informed Christianity and pledged discipleship. Members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, not just in word, but in deed, have shown who they follow. Now, I want to liken these two things, Erica Kirk and the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. They both have shown an allegiance to Christ. People can quibble over doctrinal differences, but it is this allegiance to Christ that makes you Christian. My hope is bright. I believe that far more people are seeing these acts of Christianity and these examples of Christ-like behavior. And I'm hoping that people will seek more truth, shun the darkness, and seek the light, that they will discern for themselves between truth and false witness, and not be manipulated and not be deceived. I want to invite you to join me in watching a worldwide church conference this Sunday. It's being broadcast to the whole world. It'll be able to be seen on YouTube, on the channel for the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, at 9 a.m. and 1 p.m. Pacific time. And you can hear from the leadership of our church, straight from the horse's mouth, what we believe, what we declare, what we teach, and who we follow. And I would encourage you to come, if you're one of my friends, local, come to church with me. With that, I promise we'll get back to our regularly scheduled programming here on the Bear State Saint channel. I don't post every 5 seconds, but when I do, I promise that it will be worthy of eyes and ears.